the Raja question on the Raju question on IS standard. I have seen one standard which is IS 13159 Part 1, uh, which is for pipeline flanges and flange fittings. I have not gone through the standard due to time constraints. So what I do is I'll mention the number here, IS 31959. IS 13159 Part 1, which is 1993. Okay. Also, you can search for this standard in the Google, so you can see whether it is there or not regarding the gas cuts. But I'm not sure. I didn't go through that standard. Okay, yeah. Regarding the sharing the presentation prior to the class, yes, it is possible. I can do that. But sometimes you will get confused which PPT you have to read first and all, because we are giving only 1 day prior information for the classes, sometimes on the same day, a few hours before. But there is a chance we can do that. Yeah. Okay. So let us back to the presentation again. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Hope my screen is visible. Anybody can confirm, please.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Raju. Yeah, okay. So we are discussing about the periodic inspection. So basically, it will be done on time basis or scheduled basis. So it will also covers all the areas. Okay. So the safety committee, safety officer, competent person, safety consultant, industrial hygienist, doctors, and other safety and health personnel should carry out such inspections. So here these are a few list of people uh, who can do these kind of inspections. It is not limited to. So who is having knowledge, who is having experience on the safety systems and also protocols, they can do such inspections. Okay. Other one is intermittent or intermediate inspections. It is carried out at irregular intervals to check the new equipment, installations, procedures, and workers, modifications, accident analysis, etc. Some partial inspections are also carried out at uncertain intervals. So it is irregular, unplanned inspections also we can see. So whenever need comes in, we'll do an immediate inspection. Commissioning and all, it happens once in a while. It is not a planned this thing. That is about intermediate or intermittent inspections. Then general inspections. So these are again general or routine inspections to check the places which are not covered by other inspections. So wherever or whichever the areas which are not considered in our periodic and intermittent inspections, those areas should be covered in general inspections. Basically, isolated areas, parking places. So parking places and all. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe a few companies they will consider these areas also under safety cover itself. But sometimes most of the companies are will not cover these general areas under safety. So one is parking lots and even sidewalks, fencing, light, illumination, reporting for long shutdowns, and checked by such general and also overhead inspections like roofs and all will be covered. So it is simple that whatever the areas or whichever the areas which are not covered in periodic and general or intermittent inspections, those can be covered here. Then special inspections like safety or hazard analysis, accident investigation, checking of dangerous operation or vessels, building safety, subjects of compliance, inspection during the special campaigns, new installations, and only for storage or processes, methods or hand tools, scaffolds, guards, facilities, protective equipments, etc., fall within this category. Okay, where it is specially required for a special purpose or authorization purposes where we do such inspections, those will be covered under this special inspections. Then continuous or ongoing, this also there is one more type where we have some personnel like safety officers and maintenance team or electricians spend their all time in observing certain equipments, vessels, processes, operations, safety devices, etc., to maintain them in safe and also effective working conditions. Thus, continue watch and also familiarity with the employees, equipments, machines, environment are maintained as part of informal and also a cooperative responsibility. So, when we say continuous, these are ongoing. There is no written rule that you have to do once in a week, or there is no this thing that intermittent inspections like that. It is on a ongoing inspections. For example, for a safety officer, we used to do plant rounds or safety walks or gamba walks. So there we didn't plan specific time or we didn't have specific area. So it is a kind of a general walkthrough. We'll go around the plant. We used to monitor whatever we come across with. Even we come across through the inspect equipments, we come across to the processes. Even we come across to the activities or work permits, people behavior, even storage areas, etc. Okay. Then statutory inspections. So when we say a statutory, definitely you would have immediately triggered in your mind, which we talk about the calibrations, which is done through third party. Even sometimes even boiler inspections also will be done through cover under statutory inspections. So this is carried out by the factory inspectors or other authorities under various safety statutes, which is nothing but legal requirements. A strict and also timely compliance is necessary. A breach of law and also may attract prosecutions for most of the factories where there is no system of internal inspection. Statutory government inspections is only the effective inspection, and therefore it should be carried out in detail, and also governments must employ sufficient staff to achieve better safety inspections. A non-technical workload on inspectors should be minimized. Inspectors powers and also duties are statutorily prescribed. So to simplify this, so it is done by the factories inspectors as well as other authorities which is applicable. So they do these inspections on timely manner. Then they also allocate few people for these inspections. The best example is competent persons, because the factories inspector and their team, they are very small in numbers comparing with the, the factories which are there. So they select a few people for doing such jobs who are competent enough to conduct. Okay, even their roles, even role of an inspectors, power of an inspectors, which is already defined in the factories, inspector of factories also, or factories act you can prefer. Okay, now we'll see planning and procedures for this inspection. One is the persons making inspection should be familiar with. So we should have a certain knowledge. If you are inspecting any specific area, without having any knowledge, you can't able to do a good inspection. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక ఏరియాని మనం ఇన్స్పెక్షన్కి వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు ఆ ఏరియా గురించి మనకి ఒక పూర్తి అవగాహన అయితే కలిగి ఉండాలి. So to know how, and also should and also have sound knowledge of the plant relevant standards, codes and rules, and the systematic inspection steps are all checklist, and also the method of using the data, evaluating and also report writing. And they should behave like friends, philanthropists or guides, and they should explain what, why and how, and they should know the reason of past accidents and working unsafely, and also the safe alternatives, remedial measures, and also they should convince the people for the better practice. Maybe I took a long a breath here. So basically here it talks about first of all you should know uh, how, and sound knowledge. So how to do an inspection. Sound knowledge in the sense you will have a better understanding on the plant or an area or a space or an equipment which you are going to inspect. అంటే మీకు స్పెసిఫిక్ అంటే పరిసరాల గురించి కానీ ఏదైనా ఒక యంత్రాన్ని మీరు ఇన్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారంటే దాని గురించి మీకు పూర్తిగా తెలిసి ఉండాలి. Then relevant standards is if it is there any specific standards to be referred or required, and codes and rules, any legal requirements with respect to that operations or equipment or process. Then systemic inspection steps or checklist. So if you have any process or if you have any plan or process to inspect which part of the area or which part of the equipment or from where to start that inspection, or you can use any checklist. Then method of using the data you should know, and evaluating and report writing. All these are skills you should know while you are doing an inspection. So it'll not an overnight knowledge you will get. So once you started doing these inspections, slowly you can attain the knowledge and skills. And the critical part is they should behave like friends. So they means what? Like we. So once you become a safety officer, you should not feel like, okay, so I am the boss, so I am the police here, so I can able to question everybody, I can able to blame everybody, I can able to uh, what do you call argue with anybody. Not like that. You should be like a friendly police. So always you should be like a friends. Sometimes what will happen, so too much friendship also with it can deviate some of the safety protocols. You don't need to do so much friendship. More friendship also can leads to a more unsafe practices or violations. Okay. So, philanthropist or guide, you should also explain what, why, and how. As I mentioned in our previous class, so you should explain clearly why we are doing this inspection, and what is the importance, scope, and how you are going to use these observations to improve safety. And they should know the reasons of the past accidents. So sometimes if you are coming across with in case of any such incidents happen, such situations happens, you should be familiar with the past incidents and also unsafe practices, or whatever the actions would have taken. And also you should have people management skills for better practices, so that if you suggest something, you should have better language control or convincing skills to obey your observations or suggestions. Then basic steps of inspection. So what are various steps in this it will involve? So one is to contact the department head for his help. So as I mentioned, so whenever you are starting an inspection, you have to contact respective area manager or department manager, and to observe all conditions for compliance with established standards. checklist are preferable. Okay, so here is to observe conditions for the compliance with establishment standards. Then to observe all operations for unsafe actions or violations of safety rules, and to prepare a systematic report with all hazard detected and corresponding remedial measures. So we'll see for all unsafe actions and violations, and also we'll prepare a systematic report with all hazards detected and corresponding remedial measures also we have to do. Then the report should include good suggestions of the plant people, and also recommendations may be discussed with the persons concerned. And the report should be sent it to the concerned people for complaints, and also follow-up action should be continued till full compliance is achieved and also reported to the management. So once you are done with the report, so the report should be include good suggestions also. You should not always write bad. So when you say all everything is bad, the people again they will not support you in the next inspection. So you have to highlight the both. Your report should be always have a balance. So balance in the sense you have to write good observations, you have to write area of improvement. Always you should not write even non-compliance. Again, non-compliance is a different area where we see in the ISO. That is the way. So you have to write the observations in such a way that it is in a there is a room for improvement. There is a space or there is a scope for improvement. So always our reporting writing should be in a convincing manner. It should not be in a, offensing or defensing. So they should always uh, get a good, or they should feel yes there is an there is a gap, there is a chance for improvement. Then we have to give this report to the concerned people to take the actions against those observations, and we should take the follow-ups till the complete or accomplishment of those gaps. Now safety checklist. So we have seen the process or system checklists are used to identify common hazards and ensure compliance with the standard procedures. And a checklist is a convenient means of communicating a minimum acceptable level and also hazard evaluation. It can be detailed as necessary to satisfy the specific situations. So safety checklists are one of the tools where we can use to do most of the inspections or to meet the specific or certain standards. Okay, these checklists should be regularly audited and updated. So checklist should be audited in the sense it has to be reviewed on a regular basis, so that, as I mentioned, there will not be any missing steps or processes or areas. Okay, then the checklists are complementary to the inspection technique and makes the inspection more perfect, speedy, and systematic. So what will happen when you say checklist? It is easy or more perfect. We can do it systematic because we'll go one by one. So there will not be any chance of missing any specific areas or any specific portion of an equipment or specific area of any uh, block, etc. Okay. So there is so many checklists designed in various ways, and also uh, differing from a plant to plant and person to person based on their knowledge and experiences. An industry, plant, process, equipment, tools, and missions wise checklist, and those for good housekeeping occupy volumes. Therefore, some sample points are given below. We'll see those points. So basically, these are designed in various ways and are different from plant to plant, like operation to operations, from people to people, and standards to standards. Now we'll see some of the basic points which we check in specific areas, or what are the various points will include in the checklist. Okay. So one is environmental. With respect to the factories, we'll see parts mostly like to develop unsafe and unhealthy conditions because of stress, wear, impact, vibration, heat, corrosion, reactions, or misuse or neglect. In a missionary, what are the points we'll see as a checkpoint? Pinch points, catch points, share points, squeeze point, running nips, or operational points, etc. Power transmissions, shaft, belt areas, gears, pulleys, electric power, unsafe starting or stopping of the mechanism, and also mission guarding. These are the few high level checkpoints we do in the missionary inspection. Then tools, like wrong tools for the job, tool in unsafe conditions, placed in unsafe position or hazardous or defective hand tools, and machine tools. Then work area, so flooring uneven or obstructed, slippery, cramp or quarters, traffic, insecure piles or overhead material, poor illuminations, a glare, a temperature, a too hot, too cold, exposure to the gases, dust, etc., etc. It is completely about the how your workplace environment, even hazards from nearby operations, flying or falling objects, electrical, chemical, radiation, trip, fall hazards, workspace, aisles, platforms, etc., etc. Then the material handling, we'll see nature of the material or objective, heavy or unwieldy, rough, sharp, hot, or corrosive, explosive. With respect to the materials, type of the materials, what is the state of materials, how you are handling it. We are handling with hoist, chain pulley blocks, or containers, conveyors, or trucks, cans, or derricks, transport vehicles, etc., etc.
Sir,
Then with
excuse me, sir.
respect to the, yeah.
Sir, can you explain the pinch point? Which equipments having the pinch points? How by this pinch point, how will hazard occurs to equipment or person?
So if you can refer our IS 102, there we have explained about this pinch points. Pinch point is nothing but where two running nips or two different rolling objects come together. Uh, like it is basically on the mechanical industry or mechanical activity happens in any machinery. It will be in a hazard. Even when we say catch points, these are caught between whichever the mission motion, it will happens in a horizontal manner. There one side will have a wall, and the missionary part is moving towards the wall, that is in a catch point. In between, a person may caught in between. Share will be the sharp edges where we have a cutting machine, sheet cutting machines, where it will happen a cutting activity. That is the share. A squeeze also same kind of cut points. And running in points, in the sense, if it is especially for any two different rollers or gearbox which will run towards each other. If you see any gearbox, or how it is runs two gears or the teeth, it will work or it will run towards each other. Those points will called as running nips. So whenever people interact with these points, what will happen there? It will create an hazard. There it will create an injuries. If you say any rolling machine or even CNC machine. If you caught in between the roller or the spindle head, what will happen? It can take you, or it will rotate you the complete body. It is basically on wherever mechanical missions are in operations, or those parts can create such hazards. So the basic control will be all the running or moving or rotating parts must be covered with the mission guarding. There will not be any exposed operations of the missions, so that we can avoid these hazards. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let us back to the presentation again. So as I mentioned, with respect to the materials, we see the properties of the material, shape, size, the nature of the materials. Then what are the uh, various ways or the tools which we are using to handle those materials. Then equipment. So here we have different types of equipments. Where do you see? Okay, 1 second, please. Okay. With respect to the equipment, we'll see the pressure vessels, revolving machineries, vibrating equipments, pumps and motors, tanks, scrubbers, flares, effluent treatment plants, safety devices, maintenance tools, personal protective equipments, firefighting equipments, production related equipments. These are the few things I am putting it here. Maybe it is also differ from your operations. Okay. Then unsafe work practices. It is about operating without authority. So these all are unsafe actions. Those also should be covered in your inspections. So when we say unsafe work practices, again these are few examples. There are a lot. Operation at unsafe speed, guards removed and made ineffective. Removed in the sense, one is physically removing, and second one is making inoperative. In the sense, we are bypassing the safety controls. Use of defective tools or using unsafely, handling materials unsafely, standing or working under suspended loads, and open hatches, shafts, or scaffolds, walking on rail or road tracks, driving vehicles, etc., etc. Okay. Then specific points, which is about special checkpoints, depending upon speciality of the plants, process, materials, etc. Points not classified elsewhere should be included here. So whenever you are not covered any specific points in the other areas, which is not covering in general, it is not covering in operational, or it is not covering in equipment, it is not covering in elsewhere. So where you can add these specific points in this area, maybe ventilation, firefighting, material handling, etc. Some of them are covered already in the previous topics. Which is not covered, you can add separately. Now, other topic is safety survey. It is also one of the safety appraisal technique, where we can use this technique to identify again the potential hazards. A safety survey is a detailed examination again as an narrower or specific a major key areas identified by the specific inspection or an audit, or any we can do it for even individual plant, a procedure or particular problem, a common to a worker as a whole. It followed by a formal report, action plan, and subsequent monitoring. It is again a detailed examination or for any specific areas. It is also covers some sort of area of inspections again. It is followed by a formal report. So once you have done the survey, again you will create a report. You'll write some remedial actions. Then it is a general inspection of the particular dangerous activities and process or areas. Its difference with a safety audit is an evident, and safety audit covers all the parts of the plant on one by one, while safety survey picks up only one or two most hazardous or important parts of the plant and carries out its inspection in depth. So why it is different from audit? So audit will covers the complete your operations, but survey it takes only specific area. How like uh, accident investigation. While doing accident investigation, will not take all the things, all the machineries from our operations. Wherever the accident happened, only will take that specific equipment and we do a in-depth analysis. So basically, again, this survey is done by the expert team. So when we say expert team, again, it depends on the situation. In case of any major fatal accident happens, there the expert committee maybe suggest from the outside, or sometimes when we say expert committee, excuse me, when we say expert committee, even sometimes the safety committee also can do this safety service. Then safety study. So again, it is another technique. So here, particular area is selected, and also it is critically studied in detail. The report is prepared and submitted to the authority. The study report is usual to all the concerns. The safety study of one industrial estate examines all sample factories in the estate.
Sir,
For the yeah,
sir,
yes,
hello.
please.
Sir, safety survey, one more explain, please, sir. Telugu.
Okay, sure. ఓకే సేఫ్టీ సర్వే ఏంటంటే బేసిక్గా ఇది ఏంటి వచ్చేసి ఏదైనా ఒక ప్లాంట్లో ఎక్కువ ప్రమాదకరమైన హైలీ డేంజరస్ ఏరియాని ఒకదాన్ని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ట్యాంక్ ఫామ్ ఏరియా ఉంది, అది మనకున్న ప్లాంట్లో అది వచ్చేసి క్రిటికల్ ఏరియా. సో ఆ ఏరియాలో దానికి సంబంధించిన కంప్లీట్ అసెస్మెంట్ అన్నది చేయటము. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ట్యాంక్స్ నుంచి, డైక్ వాల్స్ నుంచి, అక్కడ వాడే పైప్ లైన్ ఫిట్టింగ్స్ గురించి కానీ, గ్యాస్ కట్స్ గురించి కానీ, ట్యాంకర్ల పైన ఉండే బ్రీదింగ్ వాల్స్ గురించి కానీ, ఎన్ఆర్వీస్ గురించి కానీ, తర్వాత అక్కడ చుట్టూ ఉండే ఫైర్ ఫైటింగ్ ఫిట్టింగ్స్ గురించి కానీ, అక్కడ కావాల్సిన ఫైర్ ఫైటింగ్ ఎక్స్టింగ్విషింగ్ మీడియా అంటే ఫోమ్ గురించి కానీ, కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ అంటే ఎటువంటి మీడియం కావాలి, వీటన్నింటి గురించి ఒక క్రిటికల్గా అసెస్ చేయటము. ఆడిట్లో ఏం చేస్తాం మనము, కంప్లీట్ ఏరియా టోటల్ ప్లాంట్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేస్తాము. సర్వేలో ఏంటంటే ఏదైనా ఒక సెలెక్టెడ్ ఏరియాని కానీ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ కానీ తీసుకొని దాని మీద డీటెయిల్డ్ అసెస్మెంట్ అనేది చేస్తాం, అంతే.
ఓకే.